What is up, guys? It is game week 9 team selection time. Let's get right into it. Of course, you got to like and subscribe first. We want to hit 1k subs before the end of the season. Now, before we dive into the team, let's look at the insanely exciting transfer I made of selling Saliba down to 8 Nori. Now, guys, I know what you're thinking. Bringing in 8 Nori ahead of a tough game is not a good idea. Well, technically, it's not a good, it's not ideal, but the 2 games that follow are amazing, and I'm wildcarding after that. Across the next 3 games, he was the best defender for me, and I do believe that I still made the right decision. So yeah, we brought in 8 Nori. I was considering selling Barco because he's left the Premier League now, and I was going to keep Saliba on my bench just in case I needed him. But if I kept him, the only 2 games he would be available for is away to Newcastle and away to Chelsea, I'm pretty sure, before our wildcard. Those are 2 games where I do not want to double up on the Arsenal defence because I already have Gabriel. So yeah, Saliba has disappointed me enough. He's out on my team, and it's leaving me with, I think, like 3.7 in the bank, so a lot of money spare. Looking at the team now, guys, we're going to get started on the goalkeeper and the defence. Now, starting with Flecken, guys, I think, I don't want to jinx it, I think he could be on for his first clean sheet of the season. He is playing against arguably the worst team in the league, home, so I'd be very, very upset if he did not keep a clean sheet. But Brentford defensively, they're not amazing, let's be honest. So my hopes aren't insanely high. I mean, they nearly did it against Southampton until they conceded in 90 plus 5, which really grinded my gears. But guys, home to Ipswich, this is the game week where Flecken redeems himself. Looking at the defence now, guys, we've got Gavardio playing home to Southampton. Now, that is another very clean sheet worthy game, but I doubt an actual clean sheet is going to come from it because Man City always seem to concede. I imagine it will go like Southampton scoring within the first 10 minutes, then Man City go on to win 5-1, conceding a goal once again for absolutely no reason. But Gavardio always has a chance for a goal involvement, so there's a lot of avenues he can go down. I'm pretty happy with Flecken and Gavardio. The only 2 fixtures I'm not happy with in my entire team is actually the next 2 defenders. Obviously, Gabriel playing home to Liverpool is not ideal, but Arsenal could scam a 0-0 here, just parking the bus like they do against the big teams. So even this, while it's a red fixture, it might not be the end of the world. Maybe Arsenal see out a 0-0 game or a 1-0 game and he gets me some points, which would actually be ideal because I don't own any Liverpool players and I don't want any of them to do well, especially Salah and Trent. Next to him, we have 8 Nori, who I actually don't have much hope for this week. I think he's going to get 1 or 2 points, to be honest. And you may be wondering, why not just roll the transfer and play someone else that's going to get 1 or 2 points? Well, it's because I only had 2 defenders that were actually going to play in Gavardio and Gabriel. I had Barco, Saliba, and Johnson from Ipswich. All 3 of them were guaranteed not to play this game week, so I had to bring in someone, even if it meant just getting some point fodder, hopefully a 2-pointer. Maybe I'll get lucky with a goal involvement because he's 4th for expected goal involvements in the league. But, a clean sheet is not looking likely. I mainly brought him in for, like I said, game week 10, game week 11, home to Palace, home to Southampton. Really optimistic about those 2. Next up, we got another player playing home to Ipswich, and that is Mbeumo. Now, the Mbeumo expected goal involvements across the last 2 game weeks is actually not that high, which is quite surprising because normally they all go to him. In fact, when they scored 5 goals against Wolves, he only scored 1 goal, and that was the penalty. So yeah, I'm a little worried he may be not as crucial as he once used to be, like last season. But I'm hoping I'm wrong. I'm hoping he's just going to turn up, score 2 goals, maybe, get at least 2 goal involvements, an assist and a goal, I'm not picky, I just want the points. But overall, yeah, decent hopes for him because we all know how good he can be. Alongside him in midfield, I'm going to talk about Maddison and Bruno at the same time because they're very similar for different reasons. And that make any sense? They're very similar, guys, right, okay? So they're both playing a bad team away from home, first of all. One's playing Crystal Palace, one is playing West Ham away. Now, you'd expect both teams, Man United and Spurs, to score 2 or 3 goals past these guys because Palace and West Ham are not good at all this season. Last season, they could have been grey fixtures because Palace and West Ham are both pretty solid mid-table teams, but I do think they're going to fall a lot lower this season. What's also similar about these guys is that Bruno and Maddison are both attacking midfielders who both get expected goals, both get expected assists, and they're both on set pieces, especially Bruno with the penalties. While I don't expect loads from these 2, but it's like if Spurs or Man United score 3 or 4 goals in a game, because Bruno and Maddison are the main creative players, it's insanely unlikely they're not involved in at least one of them. But at the same time, I don't think they're going to get monstrous amount of points. You know what I'm trying to say. So yeah, maybe like an assist from both of them, maybe a goal if we're lucky. Overall, I'm really happy with it, but I'm not expecting a lot, if you get what I mean. Finally, we got Morgan Rogers, who I'm literally in love with. So consistent for me, so cheap, bringing me so much value. I could not ask for more. Even if he blanked this game week, I wouldn't be unhappy with him because he's already done more than enough for costing me 5 mil. I think he costed me 5.1 when I brought him. But with that being said, I also wouldn't recommend anyone to bring in Morgan Rogers because he's got some tough games after this one, okay? It is not the time to go for Aston Villa players, guys. If you have him, definitely hold him for this week. I mean, why wouldn't you? But yeah, don't bring in Morgan Rogers despite how cool he is and despite how high his ownership is. Now, in the front line, we've obviously got the main topic as to whether you should triple captain Haaland or not triple captain Haaland. Considering he got 17 points against Ipswich and a lot of people triple captained him, I can imagine Southampton at home is going to be another popular triple captain. I personally, right now, I'm not going to go for it, but I don't think it's the worst idea in the world if you do go for it. I mean, what is the odds Haaland blanks 4 games in a row, guys? Come on, let's be honest. What are those odds? If you calculate them, it's probably like 1.3%. I do think he'll probably come away with 2 goals, if I'm being completely realistic, completely honest. I don't think it's worth a triple captaincy because I know there's supposed to be less double game weeks this Premier League season, but if there is a double game week where he's playing 2 easy teams in a row, or maybe even Salah or Palmer is playing home to 2 easy teams in a row, a triple captain is much better used in those game weeks. So while I could be wrong and it may end up that Ipswich home and Southampton home were the best 2 triple captaincy options for Haaland, I'm still not going to do it. You know, I'd rather wait. Obviously now the perks with triple captaining Haaland is that he is going to score a hat-trick against these teams at some point in the season. At least 3 or 4 more hat-tricks are going to come his way. And Southampton at home is the most likely option. So yeah, guys, if you want to go for it, go for it. If you want to take that risk, you can. But I personally, I'm not going to go there. I would rather save it for a double game week. Also, I mean, you know, it doesn't fill me with confidence. He's got 2 points in the last 3 games. His expected goals have been quite low, so I don't know what's going on at Man City. I think teams are just parking the bus against them. And if Southampton end up doing a low block and just, you know, end up only conceding a goal or 2, which is possible, by the way, it's not going to look good for Haaland because that's like at most 13 points for your triple captain. And ideally, with a chip like the triple captain, I want my player to at least be getting 15 points. Next to Haaland up top, we've got Watkins, who I'm also a huge fan of. Like Rogers, you know, insanely consistent. Done a lot for me since I got him in the team and I'm really happy with him. He is more of a player I would hold through the tough games, unlike Morgan Rogers. I mean, this home game to Bournemouth, I'm really optimistic. I think Watkins can get a goal or 2 at least. And I really want to find out who is on Aston Villa penalties because it is killing me not knowing. I mean, last season they already had like, what, 3 penalties at this point? So yes, you know, kind of annoying that Watkins or Rogers could have them. And I just don't know because if Rogers does have penalties, like, you know, he takes penalties for the under-21s at England. If he does have penalties, he's worth a hold for the entire season against any team in the league. But if he's not, then he's not worth holding. So, you know, I need to know this stuff. But anyway, we're here to talk about Watkins. So, yeah, Watkins, one of them. Great for this game week, but probably wouldn't recommend transferring in a player like Watkins either, just like Rogers. And you guys know I've got to leave the best till last, my favourite until last. Chris Wood, costing me 6 mil at the beginning of the season. Everybody was deciding between Chris Wood and Muniz. Not me. I knew in my mind, in my heart, that Chris Wood was the player to go for. He has scored 5 goals in 8 games, only costing me 6 mil. Currently, he's costing 6.3. Is he still worth buying? I guess so, but that's only if you're going to use a wild card soon after. If you have already used your wild card, I probably wouldn't be eager to get Chris Wood. But yeah, like I said, he's my favourite player and I'm really happy he's playing on Friday night. So instead of getting the points late on Monday like last time, like last game week where he scored us a 7-pointer, we're going to get the points early this game week so we don't have to wait for them. It's not whether he is going to get points, you know, it's just when is he going to get them, you know, because he is going to get them. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think of the team. Did I make the right move in bringing Aït-Nouri in? I mean, if you saw my other options, you would know it's a yes, let's be honest. Yeah, if you guys did make it this far, you are greatly appreciated. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.